he would have.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you? How are you? I'm on a little early this morning. I actually came to a building today, walking and trying to do the live. So we're day 2 of 21, talking about enough is enough. And I'm speaking, good morning, LaShonda, speaking to wives, couples, husbands during this 21 days and really sharing information as it relates to those that are in emotionally destructive marriages, toxic relationships, and giving you 2 tips and also strategies to make a decision, to make the right decision and the right choice. And the title is Enough is Enough. So I'm on for 5 minutes or so. Not very long, but I pray that whatever I share is helpful to you. Good morning, Pastor Holmes. Good morning, Tanja, Deborah. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So today I want to share with you to stop believing the lies. You know, anytime you're dealing with a destructive partner, they will make you feel like you're the problem, you're the issue. They will continue to blame you for everything that happens in the marriage, and you will begin to blame yourself and thinking, well, if I said this differently, if I did this differently, if I was a little bit more if I was stronger, if I was less sensitive, then, it would have turned out different. If I'm more careful in what I say and in what I do, then there will be a different outcome. If I'm more submissive, if I do more, if I say less, if I just be a good, godly wife, then, I would not be experiencing these things. So I want you to stop believing the lies and face the reality and the truth of what really is going on in your marriage, what the abuse that is really happening, the emotional distress that is really happening, how it is really making you feel mentally, emotionally, how it is really affecting your well-being, your children, your day-to-day decision making, your day-to-day choices. I want you to really, I don't know if it's just you. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I hope it's just you, because I don't want to start over. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me, please. I don't want to say anything, so I don't know. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Let me know. Good. Okay, Tanja, might be you. Might have to go out and come back in. Okay, so stop believing the lies, you guys. Stop believing that it is your fault, that you are the problem, that you are not a good wife, that you are not a good partner, that you are not a good mother, that you're not a good friend. And the thing about an abusive person, and this is emotional, physical abuse, spiritual, financial, is that they will always make you feel less than what you are. They will always try to make you feel worthless. They will make you think that you're stupid. They will make you think that nobody likes you, nobody wants you, nobody wants to be around you. They will make you think that, if you're not with them, then nobody else would ever want you, and all of these other negative things. So they will try to demolish and dismantle your character. They will try to tear you down physically, mentally, and emotionally. And a lot of times they're doing this not really out of consciousness. It's just who they are. It's what they have been exposed to. It's the abuse that they have experienced. And now they're projecting those things on you. And, in counseling, if you guys ever been to counseling, couples counseling, we use something called I statements. And basically, I statements is just really expressing yourself toward that person and using I feel like. But the only time I statements is good is when you're expressing how you feel, and not when it's used to blame yourself. What do I mean by that? When you're saying, I am helpless, I am hopeless, I should have done this differently, I need to be better, I need to be more quiet, I need to learn how to listen to him more. So you have to face the truth. The truth is, it's an emotionally destructive marriage. The truth is, he's not treating you well. The truth is, you fear for your life. The truth is, you're not happy, you're not whole. And let me just make this disclaimer. These calls, these lives is not necessarily a call for, okay, yeah, go get a divorce because that's what you need to do. Because in many instances, a separation may need to take place. In many instances, you can pray and God can heal and deliver and he can set free. But in many instances, it is a separation that needs to take place, be it temporarily or permanently, because the time apart needs to be the decision, because the relationship is so destructive. It is so far-fetched to whereas there's nothing that you can do to make a shift or to change him or to make yourself happier. You can just sit and dwell in that place and continue to be abused and continue to be the object of his issues, of his pain, of his hurt. And if he refuses to get help, then there's no luck for you. There's no luck for you. So, to be in that situation is very hard. It's very challenging. And especially if you have children, because here you're now trying to keep yourself together and you're trying to keep the children together. You're trying to protect you and you're trying to protect the children. And that can become very hard. So I pray that these messages that I'll be sharing with you over the 21 days, I pray that God continues to speak to you. I pray that whatever situation you're in, separated, headed to divorce, complicated, still living in the abusive situation, that you will use wisdom, that you will start believing the truth of what is going on. And what I want you to do, if you have not done it already, and for those of you that are sitting and dwelling in this scenario right now, is start thinking about all of the things that are being done in your marriage. And then I want you to name it. I want you to speak it out loud, because sometimes we don't believe that it's that bad. And, you'll make excuses and enable the behavior. And that's us as women in general, because we are so nurturing, because we are so loving. We make excuses for people, not just husbands and boyfriends and men, but we make excuses for people. So you have to stop enabling the behavior and start saying, when he ignored me, that was a form of abuse. And when he said this or when he did that, that was a form of abuse. And start thinking about and recounting. And listen, this is not recounting to just demolish his character or to be this horrible person, but you really need to see what's going on. So once you start thinking about it, I want you to be able to see it and visualize it, name it, and then write it down. Write those things down. Like, when he left me at my mom's house because he was mad, that's an issue. When he started driving crazy in the car because I said something he didn't like, that's an issue. When he raised his voice at me and his body changed and his face started changing, his voice started changing, that's a problem. So you have to start, those are not normal behaviors. Yes, we get in arguments and we have things, but that should not be a consistent pattern. And that's what I mean. You're looking for patterns of behavior, consistent patterns of behaviors of things that keeps happening in the marriage. I'm not talking about a one-off argument or disagreement and, things got a little out of hand. I mean, that happens. What I'm talking about is a constant, consistent behavior patterns that's happening in the marriage. You almost know when something's going to happen when you don't answer your phone or when you don't share information or when you're not in compliance with him. And then sometimes men like to use the word of God as their excuse as to why they're treating you the way that they're treating you. So anytime the word is being used out of content and out of context to treat you harshly or anything other than godly, then you have to test that. You have to say, okay, God, let me compare this to your word. Is what he doing right now, is this godly? When he's hiding the finances from you, when he's telling you it is none of your business how much money he has or how much money he earns or where the money is going, and he refuses to share financial details with you, if he's using you financially and making you pay all the bills or be responsible for things where he should be helping out, those are type of abusive behaviors and patterns. And you have to start looking at those things. So listen, I gotta go, you guys, but start seeing it, start thinking about those things, name it, claim it, see, okay, Lord, what is going on? Start writing it down in a journal. Make a note of it, get it out on paper, and be able to identify where you are right now so you can make the healthiest decision for you and your children. And this ain't, we're not. Yeah, Deborah. And see, that's the thing. When you make a decision to go back, change has to be evident. You don't ever go back until change is evident, because what happens with that, let me walk out here, you guys, so it might be a little shaky. So what happens, and I may not look at you because I need to walk to the office and I can't walk and look at you and the road at the same time. So what happens with that is, they'll pretend, oh, I've changed, and it's getting a little dark because it's outside. I've changed, and I love you and I love the children. Change is followed by change. Change is followed by change. It's followed by their behaviors. It's followed by their attitude. It's followed by their mindset. And you have to be very sure when he says, I've changed, I love you, I want to make it work. What has he done? What did he do? Did he go to counseling? Did he finish the counseling sessions? Did he go to a program? There are programs out here for men that are abusive, being mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually abusive, that will help them that will help them face their truth, and that will help them to heal in those areas. Because to be honest with you, a lot of times they just think, oh, I'm just being a man. This is what a man do. Men are harsh, men are strong, men are this. Yeah, you can be strong and all of that, but that doesn't mean that you're harsh toward me. That doesn't mean that you are overly abrasive with me, right? So they have to know it is a time and place for that, and many of them have learned these behavioral patterns from their father, or the lack thereof, from the men in their life, or the lack thereof. You know, many of them are angry. Many of them are dealing with so many internal issues, and instead of them confronting those things, they're blaming you for being you, and they're making you feel little and insignificant. So anytime he says I've changed, there has to be written proof, and it has to be evident that he has changed. And I would even go as far as to say that he needs to be interviewed by somebody you highly respect to see if change is there. You better call me girl. It needs to be evidence. So even your pastor, spiritual leader, your father, if your father is a great father, I guess I'll say it like that. If your father is highly respected, if he's a noble man, honest man, and he's in your life, that man, before he comes back in that house with your children and you, he needs to be surveyed. It needs to be observed. And you need to be sure without a shadow of a doubt. It doesn't matter what he says. You have to look at what he is doing. Don't look at what he says. Look at what he's doing. See if the behavior has changed. It can't, because it can change. It can't. God can change his heart, and he can begin to face his truth, and God can heal that marriage. I honestly totally believe that. However, before that happens, he needs to be vetted. He needs to be vetted before he comes back into your life. He needs to be vetted before he comes back into your children's life. And you need to be sure without a shadow of a doubt. And I will even go as far as to say this. If you are separated, before he comes back, start dating him first. You date him. You put him in situations where he might be tested and see how his response, because listen, he can pretend but so long. So put him in those situations where he will be tested. Things that have happened in the past. See how he responds and reacts, because he can't lie about that. Those are that's who he is. That's a part of him. So that's what I would say about that. So listen, ladies, stop lying to yourself. Face the truth. Face the reality of what is really going on, and face the reality that there is something that you need to do about your situation, because you do not deserve to be mistreated. You're not damaged goods. You're not worthless. You're not helpless. You're not hopeless. So stop allowing him to tell you that. Stop allowing him to make you feel like that. Many of you are not even yourself anymore. You can't even identify the woman that's in the mirror because you allow somebody to demolish your character. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. I love you, ladies. I really do. For those of you that are not part of the Wives Who Win Training Center, make sure you be a part of that training center. That training center is there to help equip you as a woman and as a wife. And understand, if you're not married, we are all the bride of Christ. So we're winning as wives in that respect. The goal of that group is not for you to have happily ever after, but it's for you to have in your own personal life as a woman, as a leader, as a mother, as an author, as a speaker, in the position that God has placed you in, for you to have a happily ever after. So ladies, I'll see you tomorrow. Same time. I don't know. Same time. Same place, because I will be walking to work. But we'll see about the time. Talk to you soon. Bye.